Hey guys, I'm Jackson. This is my spoiler review for the first two episodes of Agatha, House of Harkness, / Coven of Chaos, / Darkhold Diaries, / Agatha All Along. Let's be real here. The popular consensus to the MCU is negative or waning or worst of all, who cares anymore? Kind of a shrug, like a guy at work who's just like a jock, but like he's seen every Marvel movie till Endgame. You'll be like, did you see Doctor Strange 2? And he just goes, I don't know. The most damning piece of evidence that people just don't care about the MCU anymore is that marketing for Agatha All Along is genius. Kind of funny, like a really absurd long game gag that is like really fun, but everyone kind of hated it and no one was on board for it, generally speaking, and it just kind of felt like they didn't know what the show was going to be and they kept changing the title and just saying random things and being like, okay, no, all right, we did a consensus and people didn't like that first name, try another one, try another one. Agatha All Along is a thing she said from another thing, and that is everything Marvel loves to do now. The most popular two movies at the box office, and generally speaking critically, recently have just been like a movie just pointing to another movie, being like, do you remember Wolverine? And so for them to have this really fun ongoing gag over years, where they keep changing the title, and then the final title reveal is Agatha All Along, which is fun, because it's a thing she said. Agatha All Along, the song, but also the title was Agatha All Along. I love it. And so I was like, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. And as the only person who liked that, I was like, I think I'm going to like this show. The trailer kind of surprised me. I thought it was fun. Then I watched the show, Agatha All Along, the first two episodes. And unfortunately, I'm like that guy at work who's like, So yeah, I give this show a shrug. I was pretty underwhelmed. I was pretty bored. There are like 3 or 4 moments that I thought were very funny. And like the performance of our lead lady, Agatha, she's fun. She's good. But everything about the show feels so old. It feels so tired. Like the entire first episode is this crime cop procedural, and Agatha is stuck in this mind palace nightmare witch thing or whatever. And you might be like, that sounds really familiar to something. What is that the same of? Oh, that's right. The show that this is a sequel spin-off to, WandaVision. WandaVision's entire premise, the entire core thing of the show was that they're going through different genres of TV and exploring this personal emotional journey. Whereas this, it's just like, TV shows, gimmicks, genres. What if she's in a cop crime procedural? You know, like those European cop crime shows that your mum watches, where there's a hard-boiled detective and she's like, I punched that guy, but he deserved it because he did naughty things to a kid or whatever, but I'm hard, but I do what must be done. And she walks up to the crime scene smoking a cigarette, and they're like, you don't play by the rules, Agatha. And she's like, rules are made to be broken, chief. It's kind of fun for 5 minutes. You're like, this is a fun novelty. But I know it's a show about witches doing witch stuff and going on a witch's journey through the magic witch portal of walking on a thing. It's like the Yellow Brick Road, but dark and witchy. I've already forgotten what it's called. Witch's Path, the Witch's Walk, the Road of Magic Witches. Who cares? They've got to do a big magic thing so she can get her magic back, and she gets a bunch of C-grade, presumably even E-grade Marvel characters to join her, and all of them are so utterly forgettable, it's painful, except for Kitty from that 70s show, who is utterly delightful. But I think that performer, that actress, is just super charming, and as soon as she speaks, I'm like, I like that 70s show. Not all of it, but some of it's very funny. The 90s show shouldn't be anything. And it's something. Halfway through my review conclusion, probably just watch that 90s show rather than watch this, because it's better than you'd think. It's obviously a sitcom, so go in expecting family-friendly sitcom vibes, but generally speaking, kind of fun. Kitty hasn't lost her magic, that's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, we go through a crime cop procedural thingy that your mum watches, and it's just kind of within like 3 or 4 minutes, you're like, okay, that's fun. Now let's wrap it up and let's get to the Magic Witch Show. Let's get to Charmed / Fate the Winx Saga. Yes, I know they're fairies. Shut up. / some of Buffy, I guess. I just wanted fun Magic Witch stuff. I love fun Magic Witch stuff. I am the only man over 30 who watched Fate the Winx Saga. Yes, I know they're fairies. Shut up. I wanted this to be just a fun, quirky, wacky, magical little journey. Like Lockwood & Co., like the Dead Boy Detectives. Something fun and magical and lighthearted and just a rollop. Just a romp. It's kind of a slog. It's kind of boring. There are moments that are funny, the performances are okay, but it's really just 2 of them. The rest of them are just so generic, so boring. The whole first episode is just waiting for them to like stop doing the gimmick because it has no emotional weight. It's not the core crux of the series like WandaVision. It feels like a gimmick. And so you're just like, yep, let's wrap this whole crime cop procedural drama out of there. And as soon as it wraps up, it's suddenly like, we didn't need that at all. There should have been a 2-minute montage. Get us through there. We understand where she is. Because as soon as she's in like the suburbia of Westfield or Springfield or whatever, West End, whatever it is, the suburban town she was in from WandaVision, a bit of fun for a bit. And then she's like, the next episode, she's like, I've got to go and do a, you son of a bitch, I'm in, situation with a bunch of witches to get them all to go on the Witch's Road. Or the Witch's Road? Let's go with the Witch's Road. She's got to go to the Witch's Road to get her magic back, so she's got to get to a bunch of E-listers and do a Witch's Road. And the whole second episode is her just collecting the cast for the show. And it's so boring, it's so dull, it's really unfunny. I feel like the first episode somehow was funnier in its like 2 little moments of being interesting after the cop procedural thing took up like 30 minutes. So we finally get all the characters together, and then they sing a song to get into the yellow brick road of evil magic witch whatever to do the journey. Like, it's not giving you the spooky scary aesthetic but in a fun way, and it's not being genuinely scary, so it's like, what is it now? And it just like thinks it's kind of funnier than it is. It thinks it's quirkier than it is. It's kind of generic, it's kind of lame. All the characters are really one note and boring and lame. They don't really seem to have much chemistry. I can't see myself coming back. The end bit where they get onto the road and they're like, let's do a big mission, magic style. And they walk down a yellow brick road, but it's all black and whatever. And there's the one boy character who's like, I'm a wizard and I'm having fun too. Every time he tries to explain who he is, Agatha has some kind of mental block out where she can't hear what he's saying. It like zones out the sound and stuff. And there's like, what? That's like kind of interesting and kind of fun. But everything this show is doing that's interesting and fun feels like this really pale imitation, classic, home brand sequel version of an iconic thing that you remember from the past. Which is weird to say for WandaVision, since WandaVision is like 3 years old, but it really does feel like I didn't even love WandaVision. I thought it was a mixed bag. I liked some of it, I hated some of it was fine. But looking back compared to this, everything that this show does well feels like someone who isn't as skilled a director, who doesn't have a vision, is like cobbling together bits of WandaVision, putting it into like a thing and being like, sequel? And I'm like, no.